Try not to move the chair. Well, hi there. You can go down there. So in this video, I will be reviewing my time with the iPhone 11 Pro Max and asking the question, is it still worth it a year later? And as always, we start off with the screen. This has a 6.5 inch Super Retina XDR OLED display, that's a thing then, which can go up to 1200 nits. And that's super bright, especially when you wake up in the morning, you have like a Snapchat from someone and the app doesn't support dark mode yet. This phone has a resolution of 1242 by 2688, which has a 458 pixels per inch density. Excuse me? Which is so nice because the phone looks so crisp. When you're watching like YouTube videos or Netflix, or you're playing any games, it just looks really, really nice. I think the only thing that I kind of don't like is that it's only 60 Hz instead of either 90 or 120, which you can get for a phone like the OnePlus 8T, which is almost half the price of this and supports 120 Hz. So this doesn't make sense. Even the iPhone 12 doesn't have it. I kind of get why it doesn't, because I'm guessing it's the battery, because iPhones don't obviously have the biggest batteries in any phone ever. I mean, this phone is £1,099 as of right now at retail value. So up next is speakers. I think these are just average. I'm not going to say they're bad, I'm not going to say they're great, because they are neither of them. They can get loud and a little bit bassy, but it's not really enough for me to go, I tell you what, I'm throwing away my Google Home speaker for me to fully rely on this. I wouldn't, because it's just not good enough. They are still good to watch your YouTube videos and your Netflix and playing your games on, but it's not high industry standards. I just expected a little bit better with it. Sorry, Apple. And next is the camera. I don't know why I sung that. Hope you enjoyed it though. And I'm just going to say it now, I love the cameras on this phone. It has a triple lens camera setup on the rear facing. It has a 12 megapixel main sensor, a 12 megapixel telephoto, and a 12 megapixel ultra wide lens. It's a bit of a pattern going on here, isn't there? And on the front, you guessed it, it has a 12 megapixel front facing camera. And again, this is still a really good camera setup. What I didn't use much on it, and I should have used more, is the fact that it can do wider selfie cameras. I didn't understand this, or even know much about it. I knew it was there, but I just didn't feel the need to use it. Especially because this year we've hardly been able to get out the house, or anything like that. We haven't been in like a sort of group circumstance, so we're like, let's take a selfie. It's just, it's me. Yay. If you don't know what I mean, this is what happens. So obviously normal photos, and then when you turn it sideways, it will zoom out so you get a wider shot. Which, don't get me wrong, I love that feature. I just wish I could have used it more. I really do. But I think what the main best part about this camera setup is using it for video. Oh, it's so good. The rear cameras support 4K at 24, 30 and 60 FPS. So it supports all angles from there, and it also does 1080p in 30 and 60 frames per second. And the front facing camera is about the same, it's 4K at 30 and 60 and 1080p at 30 and 60 as well. This phone does also support slow-mo, so you've got 1080p at 120 and 240 frames per second. So it does get really slow. It's just obviously when you're doing these slow-mos, you do notice a drop in the camera quality, which is to be expected, but it's still very usable. I do genuinely think this is one of the best phones for video. It's just the stabilization, the quality, the autofocus, everything is just, I love it. And another addition to this is just a random one, but for some reason, I've not done it, don't judge me. This phone has slow fees. Yep, slow-mo selfies. Which I suppose is a good thing if you ever wanted to film your own shampoo commercial and just whip your hair back and, oh look, I'm wet. And up next is the battery, and it's finally one that I can speak positively about. The battery on this phone is actually insane. I can go through 1 to 2 days with it and not need to charge it up. I can possibly get to the third day with it sometimes. It really just powers on through everything. You can do your video editing, you can do your photo editing, playing your games, Netflix, YouTube, everything. And it won't die in a day. I try my hardest to kill this phone, and I can't do it. I mean, even today, I took my phone off at 9:30 this morning. That's when I got up. It's a Sunday, don't judge me. And I took it off charge at 9:30, and I still have 74% battery. And I've done 6 hours and 12 minutes of screen on time. How? If that was any Android phone, that would have gone by now. If that was my Oppo that I'm literally filming this video on, that would have gone. It's crazy. It's doing so much better than I had a Note 10 Plus last year. That battery I had to charge every day. My Oppo I had to charge sometimes twice a day. My XS Max last year I had to charge twice a day. I just dropped it. It's fine, I caught it. It's just really, really crazy, and honestly, I love it. The battery is so good for going on journeys. You just know the phone's not going to die. You could even go probably camping for a night, take a load of photos, and then come home with still battery left. It's that crazy. I think the only downside for the battery is the fact that it is only 18 watts charging. That's supported in the box. There's a fast charger in the box. Thanks iPhone 12 for taking that away. And so yeah, the 18 watts only does 0 to 50% in half an hour. So it's not the fastest charging phone in the world, but even if you did 20%, you know that the phone is probably going to last most of the day with that anyway. If I'm totally honest, if you're not using it all day, it would still last you all day. It's actually crazy. I mean, I haven't seen any real life battery tests from the iPhone 12, 12 Pro, and 12 Pro Max. I've seen like battery test videos on YouTube from Mr. Who's the Boss. I haven't been able to get my hands on an iPhone 12 because hashtag I can't afford that. But if you're looking for a phone that will just last all day, no matter how much you use it, this phone, and it supports wireless charging. And as you know from my last Oppo video, I really miss wireless charging. I have it pretty much set up every room in my house. And when I had the Oppo, I just didn't have the chance to do that because it doesn't support it. Thanks, Oppo. And you can't really say the exact battery size for iPhones because they don't tell you, but the estimation for it is 3,969 milliamp hours, which sounds small to a lot of Android phones because you've got the Samsung Note 20 Ultra series, you've got Xiaomi's, you've got the Oppos that can go from 4,000 to 5,000 milliamp hours, and it kind of dwarfs this, but none of them can really beat this. I don't think any of them have beaten this yet. Step up your game, Android. And the last point before the verdict is the speed and processor in this phone. And I have no complaints with this. It's fast, it's reliable, you can do your video editing, basic video editing basically. Your photo editing, you can play your games, you can watch your Netflix, you can watch your YouTube. It does everything easily. You know, iPhones just fly through things. They just work, don't they? They may be expensive, but they just work. Again, very well done, Apple. So what's my verdict? Is this phone good enough a year later? Is it still worth the money? Yes, yeah, 100% it is. The phone is still such a powerhouse. The battery, the processor, the cameras, the screen, it's amazing. I think the only thing that makes it go down a bit is the speakers. But if that's not a major thing that you use, this phone is going to be great. And even if this phone isn't quite what you want to pay for, you've got the iPhone 11 and 12 series. If you want a longer lasting battery, the iPhone 11 beats the iPhone 12, again from what I can tell from YouTube videos. And even on the 11 and 12, they have a standard lens and an ultra wide lens. It doesn't have a telephoto, but it has the ultra wide and standard lens, which for most people is probably fine. A lot of people don't even use the telephoto lens, so there you go. And that saves you £300 to £400 on that phone just straight away. You still get the same processor, and you're still getting the same experience with iOS. A lot of people will probably go for the cheaper one, but if you want the biggest and baddest phone that Apple likes to offer, you've got the 11 Pro Max and now the 12 Pro Max as well. And that's it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I very much enjoyed making it. And if you did, please feel free to like the video. And if you didn't, you can leave a comment. And again, I'll read it whilst I cry myself to sleep at night. But if you did enjoy, please feel free to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and also make sure you press that little grey bell icon to be notified when I upload to my channel. Oh, I got it right! And I will soon be putting a poll on my Instagram to get you guys to vote on what I should review next. So if you haven't followed me on Instagram, go do that. That's so rude, why? And within the next week, I will be putting up a poll on what I should do next. But that's it for my face today. That's it for this little guy's face. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Make sure you stay safe. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye all!